Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Tuesday, June 25th, 2019. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. You'll notice here that the ES has been going sideways over the last few days. We had quite an aggressive rally here starting with the previous Tuesday. We had the FOMC day, and then here on Thursday, a big rally. Over the last 3 days, we've had mostly sideways action as price has traded at and around the all-time highs, putting in a new all-time high at 29.69 quarter. And again, we are just kind of holding up here ahead of what could be the next key move. Are we going to break through and continue higher, or does this lead to a rotation back to the midpoint of the impulse move that we created earlier in May? Overall, that 2880 zone becomes a very, very solid target if price cannot find acceptance beyond 2960 here pretty soon, and that's what it's really been doing. It's been rejecting that zone above that area. However, one key thing is we have been in a very bullish market for June. You can see we've never even tested the 8-period average since we've been running up in here. We rallied through it on the second trading day of June and never really tested it. So even if we do pull back some, is there going to be a buying opportunity for bulls looking to defend and try to push this thing higher? Right now, again, we got to see how prices respond, but for the most part, any rejection here at 2960 could offer a rotation as shallow as 2880 and perhaps as deep as the 2780, 2800 zone. So anywhere in this zone could be in play ahead if we do reject up in this area. At the moment, obviously today we have Fed Chair Powell speaking at around noon Central, and that's going to be something that could move the market here. So we could have a rather quiet trading day ahead of that speaking engagement. So keep that in mind. All right, taking a look here at the NQ, you'll see the NQ very similar to the ES here, kind of trading in a narrow 3-day range after the recent rally last week. We're not quite at the overall highs, but we are very close to those highs. You can also see again a very bullish advance over the course of the month here, and still we have a bullish trigger zone here that if price drops into that area, that could be used as a buy the dip opportunity for a continuation higher. So right now we got to continue to watch to see how this thing develops, but on a 3-day basis right now we are seeing quite a bit of sideways action, and any failure to hold 7700 could open up a bigger rotation downward. Again, if we do see weakness, perhaps we can come back to 7300, maybe even come back to the recent lows near 7K. But again, this market has been very bullish, so buy the dips is the most likely outcome until proven otherwise. So we've got to see how this thing responds on any pullback attempt. All right, let's take a look now at crude oil. You'll see here with crude oil, this thing has been extremely bullish. We had this as a narrow 10-day range here. We got the expansion through 2-day highs last week. That expansion, this was a 6% rally day, and now we see very narrow 3-day range here. That narrow 3-day range is very important. And if we come over here and kind of bring up our PivotBoss ADR indicator here and make it 3 days, again, you'll see obviously today is not a finished trading day, but you'll see that we are very, very narrow on this indicator here. We're trading just 44% of normal, 1.56 points of range over this 3-day basis, and we're usually at around 3.4 points. So again, very, very compressed, and that suggests that we are building energy for the next move. Now, since we did break back above 55s here, we broke through the top of this narrow range. It was a double bottom. It failed to go lower. The likely flow is to the upside. Somewhere between 61 and 62 could be a great target. I would say right now keep an eye on any breakdown, because any breakdown could offer a failed low that catapults this thing much higher. So keep an eye on these recent lows here on 56.50 or so. If we break down through that zone pretty hard, we could come into the 55 zone, and that could provide a buying opportunity, and then eventually we could be rallying to the upside. So any break to the downside, I would watch cautiously here for some signs of a failed breakdown that could launch this thing much, much higher. Let's take a look at gold now. Gold futures continues to be quite bullish. very, very bullish. We've gotten a high of 1442.90. Again, look at the strength that gold has seen ever since it broke through the 1375 level. That 1375 was important. This is the level we've been talking about for some time, and it just exploded through that level, never came back to retest it, and now there's been some distance between the recent pivot high and the 1375. Having that distance right there suggests that we could be launching much, much higher. Again, the 1525 level is just around the corner. And so any retracement, any pullback, even as deep as 1375, could still provide a major long-term buying opportunity for a continuation toward 1525. So that's going to be something to keep in mind as we move forward. And even then, we could still see movement into 1700 or 1800 if that were to be the case. So this is a major, major release of energy. It's only the beginning of what could be much, much more longer term strength out of gold. So again, right now we're showing a little bit of signs here of kind of a topping pattern here. The day is clearly not over. Keep an eye on 1425. That's a key level here intraday. Any push into 1425 could provide a bounce opportunity on an intraday basis. And again, even if we were to pull back here, we have these bullish PIMAs coming up to provide support. We have the major 1375 breakout point that could provide support. So even if we do pull back somewhat, there could still be a big time buying opportunity ahead for gold. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this develops the rest of the day. Remember, Fed Chair Powell speaks at 12 o'clock Central, and we'll see how that plays out in the market later on. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.